Yo, welcome back to the channel. Today I would say we have a very spicy episode because not only are we going to talk about the most disappointing teams in the NBA, but we're going to talk about possible trades that they should do that will help them salvage their season and possibly help them out in the future too as well. So I made these trades. I got some inspiration from online sources and the NBA rumors and added my own personal touch to each one. But yeah, I tried to make them as realistic as possible, but still adding an excitement factor into it to help these teams out. Also, we just hit 300 subscribers. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love. Got more on the way, but let's get into it. The first team I have is the Phoenix Suns. It's no shocker. They've been one of the most disappointing teams in the league because they're 12th in the West at 21-24. When we talk about last year, they were the best team in the league by far in the regular season at 64-18. Coming off that year where they made that deep playoff run into the finals, they were looked to make another run the next year. But ever since last year, there's been some weird juju in the air over in Phoenix because obviously they didn't get back to the finals. And they had that meltdown against Dallas. After that, there's been so much talk about them. If we just talk about basketball-wise, DeAndre Ayton and Monty Williams, they've been having this weird tension. Monty Williams did not play him in the second half of that game 7. And then DeAndre Ayton told us that him and Monty Williams did not talk at all in the offseason. And then Jay Crowder was notified that he wouldn't be starting anymore. Instead, it would be Cam Johnson. And Jay Crowder took that to heart and said, I'm not going to play anymore in the Phoenix Suns jersey. And he's going to wait till it gets traded. And then they lost to that overseas team too as well. So it's just weird vibes over in Phoenix and something needs to be done. Not only that, but they've been facing injuries. Chris Paul has been showing that there's some regression to his game now. He's been regarded as one of the best point guards in the league throughout his career. But now he's showing that he's slowing down. By all means, it's not bad. It's just he's showing that regression. D-Book's been missing games. He missed 16. Cam Johnson, who was looked to step into that starting 4 position, has only played 8 games this year. Missed a lot due to that meniscus tear, but I think I saw tonight he's going to make his debut since that injury against the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, injuries, weird vibes, and bad bench is what the Phoenix Suns have been struggling with. So the trade that I cooked up, and I also saw it and I cooked up some part of it too as well. It's spicy. The first trade that I'm bringing to you guys is a 3-team trade. It's between the Suns, Hawks, and the Jazz. In this trade, the Suns would be receiving Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. The Hawks will receive Jay Crowder, Landry Shamet, and a 2023 second-round pick from the Suns. And the Jazz are going to get John Collins and a 2024 lottery-protected first-round pick. I believe it helps all teams, but let's specifically focus on the Suns. They're going to get Malik Beasley and Jared Vanderbilt. Those two address 2 of their main problems. Right now, the Suns are 27th in defensive rebounds per game, and you're getting Jared Vanderbilt. He's a solid forward for the Jazz right now, averaging 9 points, 8 rebounds, provides energy for this team every night, plays good on defense, and he's just good. He finds his way in offense. He can give you a 3 here and there. And with the Suns, he's going to obviously step into the 4 position, but he can provide small ball 5 for this Phoenix Suns team too. Because when we look at the Suns, they have DeAndre Ayton. Then after that, you have Landale, Bismack Biyombo, but there's not that much consistency at the backup 5 minutes. Jared Vanderbilt addresses that. He can play that backup 5 minutes a little bit too. And then Malik Beasley, one of the best movement shooters in the league right now. I know Jazz fans have some mixed reviews around him because some days he'll have 20 or 30, but then some days he might have 5. But there's a lot of value in him. He averages 14 points and 36% from 3. He's an upgrade from Landry Shamet, who they would be trading in this package. When he is engaged, he'll give you some defense, but overall I like this for the Suns. Then the Hawks, Jay Crowder, get a veteran, add shooting, add a pick to them. And then the Jazz, they get to experiment with John Collins and also a first-round pick add to their draft assets. So that's the trade for the Phoenix Suns. The next team I want to talk about is the Atlanta Hawks. They're 8th in the East at 23-22, and they've been disappointing because they were looked at to be a top 4 and top 5 team in the East by most because they made a big trade in the offseason. They essentially traded 4 first-round picks for DeJounte Murray. And on paper, this team looked a lot better. On paper, the backcourt got better. It was just a matter of fit. That was the only question. And I did not put that much thought into the fit. I thought about it a little bit, and I was thinking, yeah, but I think that the talent will overcome that fit question. I was wrong. DeJounte Murray and Trae Young do not really fit because both are point guards. They need the ball in their hands to be productive, to be great. And as we've seen from Trae Young, I thought we were going to see more off-ball action with him. He's still not showing that. And for DeJounte Murray to be effective, he needs the ball. Trae Young needs the ball too, but you would more want the ball in Trae Young's hand. You don't want the ball out of his hands, really. You want all the offense to go through him. But the trade I have for this Atlanta Hawks team is between the Hawks and the Hornets. Obviously, you're not going to trade DeJounte Murray because that would look bad on your part. Got to keep him. They're getting better. So it's been better. But yeah, there's always that talk about John Collins. He's been in the trade rumors. And Atlanta Hawks told him, go find your own trade. You and your agent can find a trade for us. We're just trying to get rid of you, basically. Or you guys can put the effort for that. That's kind of sad. But in this trade, the Hawks would get Kelly Oubre and Cody Martin. The Hornets would get John Collins and 2 future second-round picks. I like this trade for both teams because Kelly Oubre having a career year. He's on an expiring contract. He's going to help the Hawks right away. He's going to add more bench scoring for this team, add some more defense. They get better looking because of Kelly Oubre. Okay, relax. But no, he's like I said, he's averaging career high scoring off the bench. And then Cody Martin too. He can play 3 minutes. He can play 4 minutes. Can be a stretch. He can add some more spacing, add some more shooting for this team, add some defense. Other side, you have the Hornets, who will get John Collins. And let's not forget John Collins. Obviously, his value is really down right now. It's really low. But at some point in his career, in 2019, 2020, he was averaging 20 and 10. And when he was paired with Trae Young, they're looked at as one of the best duos in the league. Best lob duo in the league. And I think John Collins will be a good fit with LaMelo Ball. John Collins just needs a new situation. He's going to be better than what he is right now at Atlanta. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery. And I think this is going to help John Collins. The next team we are going to talk about, Minnesota Timberwolves. What's going on? Right now, they're 10th in the West at 22 and 24. Why are they disappointing? Well, that's pretty obvious because they traded basically a full basketball team for Rudy Gobert. They had Malik Beasley. They traded Malik Beasley, their pick, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, and then 5 first-round picks. I think Balmoro was also in that trade. Anyways, it was a lot for Rudy Gobert. And in my opinion, through my perspective, I was thinking that this is, it's going to be another fit question. Like, how are they going to have 2 bigs? The spacing is going to look weird, but I thought the talent would overcome that fit question. And obviously, I was wrong again. But yeah, at first, I was like, the playoffs, it might, we'll see the fit problems. But during the season, I believe that they'll be fine. They're going to be a top 4 team in the West. Right now, they're a top 10 team in the West. And adding Rudy Gobert, who is a top 5, top 10 defense by himself, he was looked at to improve this defense. And they did not improve. They're 14th in defense, and last year they were 13th. So technically, they actually got worse. But yeah, the spacing has been a problem for them. But what can they do? They can't trade Rudy Gobert because that would look really bad on Minnesota's part. If that first move that they made under that new regime, trading for Rudy Gobert, and now they want to trade him again? No, can't do that. Instead, they have another asset they have to trade, that they can trade, which is D'Angelo Russell. Right now, they have to decide whether they're going to extend him or trade him. Or if they don't do either, they're going to lose him for nothing because he's on an expiring deal. There's still value on his name, even though he hasn't had a great season. He's still a playmaker, but defensively shows no interest. Not a defender at all, but I think he can be good for another team. And a trade that I saw was between the Timberwolves and the Clippers. The Timberwolves would receive John Wall, Robert Covington, Luke Kennard, and a 2024 second-round pick. The Clippers will receive D'Angelo Russell and Naz Reid. John Wall, he's being shopped around with the Clippers. They want to look for a trade for him. He will be a very solid point guard for this Timberwolves team. Add some defense, and then you add some shooting with Luke Kennard. Robert Covington's a solid shooter. He'll add that all-around versatile defense too as well. And then you also get a second-round pick out of it. And on the Clippers side, they get D'Lo, which I think he'll be solid there. I mean, there's a question with it too, but they have that lack of point guard over there with the Clippers. He'll be good there, especially with all their wings. Be a good playmaker for Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Naz Reid, having a great season actually, but there's the signs show that he might not get extended by Minnesota, and he'll be a good backup big for the Clippers, which they do need. The next one I have is the Toronto Raptors. Right now, they're 11th in the East at 20-24, and they're disappointing because last year they're 5th in the East, and then obviously they didn't make that many changes, but you always see Toronto as a competitive team. We were looking at Scotty Barnes to make a step, but if he wasn't going to make a step, he was going to be around the same. And he has shown that he's got a little worse, which is it's not really a surprise because there are sophomore slumps. Scotty Barnes, by all means, is not a bad player. He just hasn't been playing up to par, up to the expectations of NBA fans. But he has been playing better as of late. But yeah, 14th in offense, 15th in defense. And you can make the argument that they'll just progress back to the norm because, like I said, Scotty Barnes is not playing up to par. Fred VanVleet not having a good year coming off that All-Star year. I believe that in terms of field goal percentage, he has the lowest field goal percentage in the NBA when you compare him to other volume scorers. But yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that they will progress back to the norm, but that wouldn't make this video fun. So let's make up a trade for the Raptors. In this trade, it's between the Raptors and the Pelicans. The Raptors get Dyson Daniels, Devontae Graham, and the Pelicans get Gary Trent Jr., a 2024 lottery-protected first-round pick, and I think it benefits both teams. When we talk about the Raptors first, you get Dyson Daniels, who was the 8th pick for the Pelicans. He's been given a little bit of opportunity here and there for the Pelicans, but the Pelicans are really deep. They're looking to make a playoff run this year, could be possible contenders. And by sending him to the Raptors, he's going to be in a position where he can maybe be at that 2 position or at the 1 position, slide Fred VanVleet to the shooting guard. He has a lot of potential. I think there's a lot of value for Dyson Daniels. That's why I made this trade. And then Devontae Graham, inconsistent score, but still can score nonetheless. He's very inefficient, but I think he adds a little bit of scoring punch to the bench for this Raptors team. But yeah, mainly it's Dyson Daniels. It makes the contracts work. I like Dyson Daniels. I think he can flourish in Toronto as a 6'8" point guard. Pelicans get Gary Trent Jr. They need some shooting. Right now, the Pelicans are 26th in 3-point attempts per game. So adding Gary Trent Jr., then a future first-round pick, I think it will help them a lot. Obviously, you're losing one of your best scorers, a great shooter. But with Dyson Daniels, you get better defense. You get more youth. You also get more years on that contract. It's a more team-friendly contract. Dyson Daniels is on a 4-year. He's on that rookie deal still. Gary Trent, 2 years on his contract, but that last year's a player option. They might lose him for nothing because there's rumors that with the way he's playing this year, he could get more in the open market and free agency. Might be worth $25 million. He might want to get that. He could get that maybe. And Toronto won't be able to afford that. So with Dyson Daniels, cheaper option, higher potential, higher ceiling, I would say, better defender. The last team I have, it's a sensitive topic because it's my team, the Golden State Warriors. Right now they're 6th in the West at 22-22, which they've gotten better obviously, but they were looked at as a team that they can go back to back. They have Steph Curry, obviously still. Clay's getting back into shape, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole. But yeah, coming off that championship run, they looked really bad in the beginning of the season, starting to get a little bit better, but they're still one of the most disappointing teams in the league, in my opinion. They're 17th in offense, 18th in defense, and comparing that to last year, they were 2nd last year. They have a lack of consistency from their bench, and you're going to hear when it comes to trade rumors surrounding the Warriors, it's primarily surrounded with their young players, which the young players have been inconsistent, which is understandable because they're still young. But when we talk about the Warriors, this is their championship window, and Draymond Green said the other day he might retire in 4 years. That's kind of scary. Whether Draymond Green, I think he will be a lifer with the Warriors, but yeah, he might retire in 4 years, so they have to try to win now. So the trade, would be between the Warriors and the Jazz. The Warriors will receive Kelly Olynyk, and the Jazz, this was a tough one because James Wiseman does not fit what the Warriors want to do. The former second pick of the 2020 draft, and then you add Moses Moody. When I was making this trade, I first added Ryan Rollins, and I was like, I might be trying to fleece the Jazz too much because obviously James Wiseman's value has gone down. When we look at Kelly Olynyk, his value has gone up in terms of contending teams are looking at Kelly Olynyk as a guy that can help them out and help them, maybe get over the hump. Stretch 5 can play some 4-2 as well, give you some solid defense. Not a rim protector at all, but he would perfectly fit with this Warriors team. When we look at the Warriors throughout their championship years, they always have veterans who can knock down threes, play solid defense, and Kelly Olynyk fits that mold. He would help them right away. They need some backup 4, backup 5 minutes, and Kelly Olynyk addresses that. The Jazz would get James Wiseman. Like I said, Jazz, they're not trying to win. They're competitive, but they're not trying to win at all. You get James Wiseman, experiment with him, see what he can do. You still have Walker Kessler down there, so you have a pretty solid big duo right there. And then Moses Moody, a solid wing. I think he would be good with Utah too. It hurts my heart that we have to let go of Moses Moody, man, because I love him. You kind of when you are a fan of a team, I don't know if you feel this way, but you kind of justify why these players shouldn't be traded, or you can't mix personal with business. That's what I did. But yeah, that's the trades I have for you guys. Those are the most disappointing teams in the league, in my opinion. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe, comment what you think about these trades. What do you think about my mindset as a GM? I put my own personal touch on each trade. What do you want to see these teams do? What are the other disappointing teams in the league? Leave that down below. But like I always say in my videos, my first name's Emilio, but my middle name is Lawrence, and I like hoops. If you like hoops too, subscribe to it too. Until next time, peace.